Just popping on to remind you, tomorrow is Maximum Overload versus Bonanza in Liverpool. So that's taking place tomorrow. That is my next booking, and it's where I won the competition. So I won the MC competition, and I go into like round two of the competition tomorrow night. And if I win, apparently, well, from what I've seen, they've actually taken like a toy wrestling championship belt, and they've sprayed like new court order over the championship belt. So like if you win, you get the new court order championship belt, and I think you get some other bits as well, like for the prize. And obviously we've been given residency at the events as well, so we're now like residents at the events, which is quite a cool thing. So I became joint winners with the brothers and bars, so like they'll swap us round. So like sometimes brothers and bars will do the booking, and then sometimes I'll do the booking, or sometimes we'll probably both do the booking. But we was told that we get rotation residency, which is obviously quite a cool thing within itself. So tomorrow it takes place. DJ Scoot and DJ Kurt from Lethal Theory is headlining the joint, and Kurt was literally at an event a couple of weeks ago, and I saw him, and he plays an absolutely belting set every time. So two DJs, myself and the brothers and bars, we've won the competition. So the two DJs go back to back, and then myself and the brothers and bars, we do like a B2B on stage. So there'll be like three of us, because brothers and bars is like a duo. So I'm kind of going against two people to try and win the new court order championship belt. But obviously, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Like, it's all about the love of the music. It's not, as much as there is like a competition there and there's like something to win out of it. Like, the music scene in Sen should never be a competition, or like competition. We should all help each other to grow. So I would imagine it'll be like it'll be a good little back to back as well. It'll be something that hopefully people will enjoy on the set. So that's taking place tomorrow, and what a stressful time it's been. So I found out on Monday from my good friend Joe, who runs Bonanza, who I've sort of been sorting the travel out with him, because I'm going to travel down so far in his taxi. And I found out on Monday that that the trains were actually striking, which was like a really annoying thing. And the annoying thing about it is, like, I could go and jump on a train right now if I wanted to go and jump on a train right now, and I can go and jump on a train on Sunday if I really want to go and jump on a train on Sunday, which I will be doing actually. But for whatever reason, they've decided that they're only going to strike on Saturday, which is like a really bizarre thing. So all right, then you think, all right, well the train, pardon, you'd think, all right then, the trains are a no go. So I'll just hop on a coach to Bolton. Can't be a difficult thing. Coaches run all the time. Nope, no coaches to Bolton. No coaches whatsoever to Bolton, which was a really annoying thing within itself. So, alright then, how about getting a coach as far as Manchester, and then getting a normal service bus in Manchester to Bolton? Well, for whatever reason, the only coach that was going to Manchester was something like 10 o'clock at night, and you could only get the coach from Humberside Airport, so you couldn't even get the coach in Hull. So you'd have to get a bus from Hull, which, bearing in mind, the last bus from Hull that goes out that way is something like 20 past 8 at night. So you'd get to the airport with a bit of time to kill, and then you go so far on a coach, and then there was like a so many hour, what they class as like an overnight sort of sort of killing time, which was like a really stupid thing. It was absolutely ridiculous, which was, like why on earth? And obviously going at 10 o'clock on Saturday night, it's too late. The event's already taken place. So all right then, but we'll just scrap the whole idea of Bolton, and we'll just get a direct, that surely direct coaches to Liverpool, surely, and we'll just do that instead. So you'd think you could get a direct coach to Liverpool, but apparently not. So I was browsing Liverpool Times for coaches, and there was a coach that left at like 20 past 4 in the morning. So 20 past 4 tomorrow morning, and it got to something like Bradford at something like 7:30 in the morning, and then there was like a 4 hour sort of wait in Bradford where you had to kill time to get to the next coach. Like, you had to swap coaches, but there was like a 4 hour wait. So 7:30 in the morning, there isn't really going to be that much happening at Bradford in that time in the morning. Cafes and things are only just sort of starting to open. So where you're going to go, and a lot of shops wouldn't have even opened by that point. And then you got to like Liverpool or something at like, I don't know if it was something like 20 past 6 at night or something like that. So like you're traveling well over 12 hours, and I just thought that is just a killer within itself. So I had kept having a little bit of a browse, trying to stay positive. And then there was a coach that left Hull 20 past 8 in the morning. I thought, all right, that's not too bad. If I have to do it, I'll have to do it. And the coach went as far as Leeds, and then you had to make your own way from Leeds to Bradford. Now, again, the trains are striking. So how do you get from Leeds to Bradford unless you like jump on a normal sort of like bus service? And again, you had like a good sort of 4 or 5 hours to kill. Sort of, where they're giving you time to travel to Bradford, obviously. But like then you've got time to kill. And then again, you got to like Liverpool at like a real, like 6:15 or something at night. And it was something like, I don't know if it was like Edger Lane or something like that. And when I looked at it on the map, it was quite a fair distance from the nightclub as well. So, you would have had to have probably like tried to figure out some form of like transport to get from wherever the coach has dropped you off to the part of Liverpool where the nightclub is. Whereas if I'd have been going on the train like the original plan, the train station was literally like right near the nightclub, like where I would have got off the train, and everything that I'd all like worked out in my head and planned out like for the train was all sort of, everything was all just exactly sort of how I wanted it to be, if that makes sense, and everything was working out in that sense. Sort of going on the train, it worked out a lot better, and then obviously the trains were striking, so that was obviously a really annoying thing. So with a little bit of backwards and forwards on different websites and phones, I finally got a form of air transport arranged, and it is actually my good friend the layman has actually offered to give me the lift. So I was very appreciated about that, because it really sort of, he was going that way, and it really just sort of bailed me out of this, like, because I didn't want to pull out, as I've said like countless times on like live streams and things, like I hate pulling out of gigs. Like if I have to pull out of gigs, that like I don't like doing it. It's a horrible thing. I hate having to do it, and like it's just something I don't like doing, because I feel like when I've like promoted something and announced something on socials, and then when you could have people that come there to see you play and stuff, and you could be the reason that someone buys a ticket to go to an event, and then if you're not there, like it just makes me feel like really shit, because I don't like it. I know sometimes like like things that can be like out of your can be out of your control, and you can't necessarily help everything that necessarily goes on. But at the end of the day, like it's just still something that I don't personally like, and I don't like witnessing that kind of thing where I'm having to obviously tell that promoter, look, I'm ever so sorry, but I can't make your event. Sadly, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible feeling. But the good news is that I can actually make the event, so that's obviously an enjoyable sort of aspect of it. So, what can I say? Absolutely buzzed that I can make the event, and can't wait to go to the event. Can't wait to tear the event up, and just can't wait to have a good time with loads of people, and have loads of enjoyable vibes. Have lots of enjoyment at the event. And I do apologize. I, I've like moved because obviously with us moving house, I've like unpacked all the CDs, and the CD rack, like I need to give it a clean. Like I can just see loads of dust, and it's like it's in the little so it's where the um the little, like, I forget what you call them, but it's where the CDs actually slide into it itself. It's like what holds the CDs in place on the rack, and yeah, they've got like really dusty, and like I keep seeing it, and it's like when you want to just like grab something and you just want to give it like you just want to wipe it, like, so I kind of keep doing that, but like I can just see it, like, crazy. They're like all over the joint. Like it's mental. Like if I just go here as well. Jesus Christ. It's crazy. It's literally there's loads. Wow. That is mental. Look at that. Yeah, that's crazy. That yeah, I'll have to give that a good, especially before I pack it away as well. I'll have to give it a proper good. I'll have to give it a proper good bit of treatment before I sort of like pack it down and stuff like that. So yeah. So anyway, like I say, I'm looking forward to the gig tomorrow. So that should be a shed load of fun. So I just want to say it again on the stream. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has purchased my remix of Played Alive. It's gone. It's still in the charts, and it's gone up to number 4, which is absolutely crazy. My High Hopes has not entered the charts at all. So I was a little bit, because actually before both of the tracks had come out, I thought the High Hopes would have been the one to go in the charts more than the Played Alive. But the Played Alive just seemed to have a lot of anticipation, and there was quite a few people that was quite interested in buying that tune, and there was quite obviously they liked the tune. So I was quite surprised at how well it did. But I definitely thought that the High Hopes was going to do something, but the High Hopes, it just doesn't look like it has. That doesn't necessarily like bother me, because I'm pleased that people are still loving the High Hope, still loving the Played Alive. That's obviously a buzz to me, and that's in number 4, sort of 2 weeks on. So that's a really good feeling. within itself. And obviously, there'll be some more stuff to come with them in the future. And what I will give you an update on as well, all my releases with Bounce Core Records, they've all been removed, and the label has shut down, which is a little bit of a pain for me because I put all them tunes out there with them. I promoted them, and there was all sort of like going on. There was all for that label, and the thing about that label is they charge like, I think it was £1.50 for a track, so not actually like £2.50 for a track itself. They actually charged £1.50. So now I'm kind of thinking like I could sort of like go to sort of like labels like Excite, and I could say, look, do you fancy like releasing this one so we can re-get that tune back out there. But then I kind of feel a little bit like, a bit unfair that they come back out, but they're like £1 dearer than they were, if that makes sense. Like I don't like that, and I just kind of feel like that's a little bit of a gutting thing. But then I kind of feel like I don't want to just put them out for free, because they were kind of like the start of where I was getting tunes that were good enough to be actually sold for a price, where people could actually buy them. So I was a little bit sort of gutted that the label sort of took them down, and that the label shut down itself, because although I hadn't released with them for a while, I was still very much very grateful that them tracks were out there, and I still probably would have released with them in the future at some point. But sadly the label shut down, and it was just a gutting thing to see. That I'm aware of, the radio station is still running, which is a good thing. The radio station is an amazing thing in itself. So that still runs. I currently no longer do a show on there either. I had issues when the decks broke, and in all fairness, like, as much as I love doing like radio shows and I love doing live shows, I just I can't commit to them. And I take these shows on, and then I get a few busy weeks, and then I end up like not being able to make my slot, and then before you know it, I've sort of like I'm missing my slots, and I just can't commit to them really. Live streams and radio shows, they're just, it's hard for me to commit to them, because I do a lot of other like different things, and also when you do commit to these shows, and this is nothing against other pages and other shows, but like you kind of lack within your own self, like I find like when I'm not going live on somebody else's page, like I can get a mix recorded, or I can sit down and work on a bit of production, and I'm not coming home and thinking, I need to get on to go on someone else's page, or to go on someone else's sort of like radio. And as much as they're a shed load of fun, and they can give you they can give you good exposure, and you can have a laugh with people, and you can be part of a good community, and I'm still part of um I'm still part of a page. I think it's called Crazy Chaos, and I do slots on there now and again. But they know that I can't take regular stuff at the moment, with the house move and everything, and they know that, and they're cool with that. And I still do bits and bobs on your radio as well. I haven't done anything for a while, but they're very much, they're cool and they understand. But it's just hard to commit to stuff, and then like I say, when you do lose that little bit of like, like you lack within stuff that you're doing for yourself, and you're doing sort of stuff for other people, and when you're not going live on their pages, you can get your own, you can get a mix recorded, like I say, or you can hop onto production, and you can box off maybe the next track or something, that whereas if you'd have spent that, I don't know, that hour doing a live on somebody else's page, and then think, oh, I got to go to bed because I got work, like you've given your time up for them, but then you've lost that time yourself where you could have got one of your own projects finished, if if that sort of makes sense. So it was it's obviously what one of them things, but yeah, I just find it hard to commit. I do a lot of worky things in the evening, and I do a lot of work stuff during the day, like going to various different meetings and meeting different organizations. It's kind of like the sort of like the type of job I'm in. I do the music lab on a Monday, and then sort of like sometimes on a Tuesday I have like a meeting, and then I do the gig buddies thing once a month. And then on a Wednesday I do the Sunflower once a month, and then Thursday it's a studio session. Wednesday and Thursday I'm in the office at work, and then Fridays it's back to maybe attending an event with the layman, or you've got a gig on yourself, or maybe going and visiting the grandparents, or something else is on, or sometimes you get asked, can you work the Thursday, or can you do so, can you work the Friday, sorry, or can you do some at this Friday evening, because we've got this we've partnered up with this event and we need staff members. And all right, yeah, I ain't got a gig, I'm not at an event, so I can do it. And then so it can become like really hard to commit to shows, and it's a gutting thing, but it's just one of them things. But like I enjoy my work, and I enjoy everything I do with my job, and I'd never, work has become like so important to me now, and it's become so vital, and I enjoy it so much that I actually enjoy it quite a lot of the time now. I prefer it to go into raves, believe it or not. And I know you're probably thinking like, like Noble preferring like work over raves, but I've got to be completely honest, and this is like nothing against anybody, but I've just kind of really kind of like felt differently about like the rave scene, sort of just as of lately. And I've sort of got like ideas as like to why I'm feeling like this. Like I've got vague sort of ideas as to why I'm sort of feeling the way I'm feeling. And there's a couple of reasons, and this isn't, like I said, this isn't really like naming people, because like there isn't really anybody like as such that you could aim, like, although I could like pick people out and say, yeah, you do this as well. But like it's not really like to like aiming at anybody, but I'm starting to get a little bit like just like I don't. Again, this is like me not being harsh to anybody or like trying to offend anybody, but I'm getting a little bit bored of like some of the lineups. Like I kind of feel like sometimes you go into like an event's next night, and it's kind of like the repeat of like the previous night, apart from like a couple of different headliners. And I kind of just feel like I'm just getting a bit like fed up of seeing the same faces. Just the same like supporting acts and the same MCs, and and I just kind of think like sometimes there's like sometimes I'll be honest, like I go just for something to do, like because like sometimes like the layman's going, and I'm very grateful to go with him, and sometimes get plus ones, or sometimes I do, I'll be honest, I get a discounted ticket. But sometimes I feel like I don't know, like I'm just like sometimes like there's been times recently where for whatever reason I haven't been able to attend an event because I've been somewhere else, or I've had like I've been at the grandparents or something, or yeah, like a couple of weekends ago I went to an event on the Friday, and it was a really good event, and there was different faces, and it was like it was a bit of a different vibe, and it was seeing different people, and the music was different, and it wasn't the same MCs like saying the same lyrics, and the same tunes that you always hear. It was something a little bit different, going to the Totally Lost It 100% classics, and there was some good sets. There's some DJs I've seen before, but there was like people that you don't see all the time. And then like even just like the crowd was different, like the crowd of ravers, like because you go to a lot of these events and it's the same people that went to the last event that go to the next event, because they're diehard ravers and they go to all the events, and they support the brand and they love to be there front row. But and again, this is nothing against them, and it's not me saying like you can't, you shouldn't be allowed to go to this rave. It's just me personally. I've just felt like I've just gone to that many events, that I've just seen that many people, that like more than once, that it started to sort of like just get a little bit where like I'm just getting a little bit like bored of it. So like I say, a couple of weeks ago, I went to my nan's, and I missed an event. There was an event on during the day, and I got asked like by people like, "Oh, where's Noble and stuff?" And like at the time, while the event was taking place and I wasn't there, like I wasn't wishing I was there, if that makes sense. Like whereas I don't know, maybe a year ago, so I'd be like checking my phone to see how the event was doing, and sort of wishing I was there, and like, oh, I wish I'd gone, and whereas this time I didn't feel it. And again, nothing against the event. The event looked like it was a really banging, enjoyable event, and I'm glad it all went well for them. And I'm glad all the events and raves. I'm glad they all do well, and they all and people go to them and people love them. And it's nothing like as such like that I suppose really that anybody can do to make me feel any different. Like I say, I'm not expecting like an event promoter to stop certain people coming to their event just so there's different faces at the event, because obviously they'd start losing people through that, and I don't expect raves to do that. That's obviously like just a stupid thing. And same with lineups as well. Like people like seeing the people that are on the lineups, then that's all good for the brand. Do you know what I mean? And I 100% respect that. But like just for me, like on a personal level, I've just genuinely got a little bit like just where it just doesn't seem to interest me as much anymore. I feel like maybe just as I'm evolving on and I'm moving on myself, like you know, maybe I'm just like I don't know, maybe I'm just like changing. Maybe I'm changing. Maybe I've got to do certain things that are to lead me on to the things that I really want to do. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely still love playing my gigs, and I can't wait for tomorrow. But then the thing about tomorrow is it's different. There's different people. There's a different vibe. It's a town that I've never gigged in before. There's some people I've seen before, but it's not like people I see all the time. Do you know what I mean? So there's that aspect of it. And then the second thing that's kind of like really been putting me off the scene lately is the amount of people that are constantly like writing these posts on Facebook where they're hanging their headphones up, or they're giving up on the music, or they're whinging in the morning because they're not getting bookings, and then they put this big post up about hanging their headphones up, and then a couple of days later, or a couple of hours later, they're going Facebook Live again on a page, and they're smashing out the music, and then on Monday they're announcing a booking, and then a couple of weeks later they're back like, oh, I've had enough with the music, me. I put so much into this and I ain't getting anywhere, and then they're putting the decks up for sale online, and I just think like you've got to step back, you've got to look, and you've got to assess. Like if you're not getting bookings, why aren't you getting bookings? And that is the purely self reason of it. Like people are booking you for a reason, because you're either in their eyes you're not maybe you're not relevant, maybe you don't do enough, maybe you don't maybe you don't bring the right attitude. Maybe promoters see you're hanging up the headphones kind of post, and maybe that's not somebody they want at their events. Maybe they want somebody who's got the fire in their belly and the passion, and they're going for it. But I see it all the time, and it just absolutely annoys me to the bone when I see people like to just constantly like, you know what I mean. One minute they're wanting to sort of like push the music as far as they can, and then the next minute they're like I said, they're wanting to sack it off and give it up, and that's kind of why I've kind of been feeling the way I've been feeling in regards to the rave scene, and then sort of like my youth work and everything has just been like so much more like positive, and it's given me like a completely different sort of like um outlook on life, and it's given me like a completely different sort of like path to go down in life that I've just like really started to enjoy, and I feel like it's something where I really fit in and I really enjoy myself and stuff like that, which is obviously why. So there we go. So yeah, so that's some of the reasons why I've been sort of like feeling the way, obviously, that I've been feeling as well. And I could go on to other things about the scene and stuff like things that I think in my mind that kind of annoys me as well. But they're kind of like the two main things. But again, it's nothing like people can really do. Like, I mean, like that individual could like try changing their life a little bit, and maybe they won't feel like so depressed. But I don't know. Like I say, I can't be the answer. And I can't tell people how to live their life, and I can't just tell someone don't be depressed and then they won't be depressed. There might be reasons why they are depressed, but I'm looking forward to the gig anyway. That's like the main thing, and yeah, it'll be good. It'll be absolutely good. And like I say, production wise, big ups on the track, and the high hopes as well. People who have bought that as well, big ups. Everything is all obviously appreciated, and yeah, what can I say other than big thank you to everybody that is supporting, and we'll just take each day as it comes, and we'll live on the journey of life. So before we do leave off on the stream, I will just give you like a little house moving update, so you can obviously see there's like boxes behind me, and I'll be honest, like I got like a really good start on like doing a lot of the packing. There was an absolutely a really good start on doing some of the packing, and literally like I was doing so well, and I was getting like so much stuff packed, and I've got like loads. I've got like most of the vinyl packed away now. All the CDs are packed away. There's like some other bits and bobs. There's like a box full of electronical stuff. There's a PS3 and stuff all packed away. And then it was kind of like I just came to like this little like almost like a barrier where I just thought, you know what, I actually can't be asked to pack anymore. And I've just sort of like not packed anything up for a couple of days now. I think the last time I actually packed something was Tuesday, because that was kind of like my before I got back to like the work office and everything, and then just I came down with a little bit of a cold as well, which I've kind of like sort of I think coming towards the end of it, which I've never had a cold that has like lasted like so quick. Like I literally so I think it was on Tuesday. So on Tuesday I wasn't at work, and I started sneezing during Tuesday daytime, just every now and again, just sneezing. But I knew it was more. I was sneezing more frequent than I normally would, so I knew that like there was like something wasn't right. I knew I'd had like either a bad reaction to something, or I was starting to come down with a cold. And then on Tuesday night, I started to actually feel a little bit unwell. And my nose started running, and I started to get like a little bit of a temperature, and I just started to get a little bit of a sort of like a little bit of a faint headache, and I just knew that something wasn't right, that I just wasn't well. But I just thought, look, I've got Liverpool at the weekend, I've got stuff coming, fight it, Noble, fight it. Um, Wednesday came, and I woke up Wednesday, and I didn't feel too great, to be honest. I'll be honest, I felt as rough as a badger's arse. And sort of all through Wednesday at work, I sort of battled through, just not feeling too good, just drinking plenty of fluids. I had a little bit of dinner, not too much though. And then did Sunflower on Wednesday night, went and looked around an exhibition space as well. And just sort of like battled through. And then got I got home on Wednesday night, and I sat down and I started having some tea, and I couldn't eat the tea, and I just felt absolutely shocking. It's like I'd got like completely worse. Um, and then I went to bed, and I went to bed really early as well. So like I normally go to bed like probably round about like between like midnight and 1 o'clock, sometimes a little bit later if I get sidetracked on like FL or something. But no, I went to bed at something like, I don't know, I went I went to bed at something like, I don't know if it was like half 10 or something like that, or quarter past 10. I got laid in bed, had a cup of tea, and I didn't even drink the full cup of tea. I just like had a little bit of it, and then I don't went straight to sleep, more or less. I felt absolutely shattered, and I just more or less, hit the pillow, and just sort of went to sleep, um, and sort of kept waking up now and again through the night and just having like a mouthful of drink. And I didn't have to work on Thursday, luckily, because I'd been um, working on the Monday instead, so I had like a day off apart from the studio. So I had like a good lie in, and I didn't get up till like 11:30, going up for 12 dinner time. I didn't like properly wake up, and I felt, pardon, and I felt a lot better than I did on the Wednesday, but I didn't feel 100%. But I got myself going. I knew I had like the studio and stuff, so I got myself sort of going, and got myself prepared for the studio, and got myself sorted for that, and just sort of picked myself up. And I've just spilt my cup of tea. Great stuff. Yeah, and then after the studio, got myself some tea, and I was able to eat all my tea, which was a good thing. So I knew instantly by that point, that I was actually starting to feel all right, starting to feel better than I did, which was crazy, because, like I say, I must have literally had the cold like properly for like about 2 days. Like, so sort of like that Tuesday and then that Wednesday was probably like the worst days of it, and then well, I'd say like the Tuesday sort of like daytime was like just the start of the cold, and then like the Tuesday night was like, yep, I've got a cold, and then Wednesday was like the feeling really shit day, and then the Thursday was like, yep, still got a cold, and then sort of later on Thursday was like, all right, I'm actually starting to feel a lot better in myself. And then, like I say, I was able to eat all my tea. And then today, I felt like not 100%, but I felt, still like even better than I did yesterday. And I just feel like things have started to look up, and I feel a lot better than I did. So hopefully I don't have like a relapse, and start feeling like shocking again. But I don't know. We'll have to see. So yeah. But anyway, that's gonna do it, because time is ticking, and I want to chill out and stuff, and I don't want to be too late to bed, Because, like I say, I'm still not 100%, and I've got stuff tomorrow that I want to do as well. So, yeah, so make sure to like, comment, share, all of that good stuff, and we'll see you soon. Boom.